5/3/2021.
Live from the RV General Store Sports Animal Mobile Studio in historic Campus Corner, it's Football Feedbacks with Bud Light Game Time. Driven by Eskridge Lexus of Oklahoma City.
You're up. Ghost of horrible defense visited Memorial Stadium once again. Kansas State 41, Oklahoma 34 in a shocker, Jim Traber. Defense of the past. We've been saying how good it's been and everything. Of an embarrassing defensive performance tonight by Oklahoma. An embarrassing loss.
You know, Al, I got to tell you, if I'm alive 2 years from right now, I'm picking Kansas State to win this game. It's the most mind-boggling thing I've ever seen. Kansas State's offense in the first 3 games did nothing. OU's defense looked like it was a lot better. And then they come in here and mix it up and just, I mean, literally, did they end up with 500 yards? They had to end up with 500 yards. I mean, I know that OU did a nice job through the third quarter and into the fourth, but then they came back in that fourth quarter. Was it 509? Is that what you said, Matt?
Yeah.
Yeah, 500 yards, 41
against
points.
a bad offensive team.
Yeah, well, tonight they didn't look bad.
No, they didn't.
I mean, they used Martinez. Martinez was unbelievable. Deuce Vaughn is just an incredible stud. Matter of fact, halfway into the game, you said that you agree with Tram. You think he is the best running back in the league.
Let's get perspective. How bad a loss this is. This should be one of the easier games OU plays the rest of the season.
You would think so. I mean, now let's see what happens. Like, we got to forget about the Tulane loss. We'll see what Kansas State does down the road. I don't know. Maybe they'll fight for the Big 12.
They're not as good as Baylor. They're not as good as Oklahoma State. I don't think they're.
I agree. But OU's not. They're not done now. This is a horrible performance.
Done, but they put themselves in a trouble.
That's right.
If they can't defend this guy, they're gonna have problems the rest of the year.
Well, that is
the tackling was bad. Penalties were bad.
The penalties were beyond belief. I mean, the amount of
killed them on offense.
Oh my gosh, on offense was just unbelievable. The false starts, just ridiculous. They had a big holding penalty in a bad position.
And you've been saying all week, you can't lose to teams that you're much more talented.
You're right. You're exactly right. And we were hoping that with the new attitude and the new coaching and all that other stuff, that they would beat the teams they're supposed to beat. But they didn't do it today. So this is another, I can't explain it. I know OU fans don't want to hear it, but they lose a lot of games as a double-digit favorite. I don't understand why that is. I don't know. I mean, let's give a lot of credit to Kansas State.
No doubt.
Obviously.
Absolutely.
They're a well-coached football team. Martinez was unbelievable. Deuce Vaughn is he's just a stud. But you got to win this game, Al.
You get behind 14-0 right away.
Right.
You play from behind.
And by the way, that's
something
they need to address because they got behind Nebraska 7-0 too. They remember Kent State in the beginning, got ahead of them. They got to figure out a way to start faster because you start to play a better team like Kansas State. We said this was the best team they played all year. Well, you get behind 14-0, and what happens? They gain confidence, Al.
And to give over 500 yards is totally unacceptable. Totally unacceptable. Gabriel missed some passes. I'll take his night all along. 34 points against a good defensive team. That's really good.
That's enough. That should be enough to win. You're exact. Matter of fact, you picked them to score 28.
Yeah, right.
I picked them to score 35. Now, we both picked Kansas State to score less. I did have Kansas State covering the spread, but I didn't have them playing them this tough. So I don't know. It's mind-boggling to me. It really, really is. And now, how good is OU? Do we know? How good are they? Hey, let me tell you, next week, TCU's offense, they're good.
You're right. That's exactly right.
The following week, if Ewers plays, Texas offense, they're good. OSU's offense, good.
They're all better than Kansas State's offense.
Well, you're right. I mean, you're exactly right. I just mind-boggling. Matt Ravis, Matt Meyer, I apologize, Matty. I would love, we're going to get some stats here, but I would love for you or someone to tell us when is the last time a quarterback and a running back have both run for over 100 yards in one game against OU. As bad as some of the defenses OU had, I don't remember, Matt. You might remember something, Matt. I don't.
I mean, not offhand, no.
Okay.
I don't know the answer to that.
Well, did one of the Kansas State quarterbacks and running backs do it against OU?
I don't know. That's a good question. I just don't remember anything. I don't remember
that game
that.
up in Manhattan when they lost Jalen Hurts here. I mean, the stats they had that game were unbelievable. And they've had quarterbacks that their quarterbacks almost every year run against OU.
And why is it that OU has such a hard time with Kansas State? This is a new coach. He's been here for a few years now, but it's not the same coach over the period of time. Not the same players.
If you're an OU fan, you got to hope it's just not Kansas State, that it's only Kansas State. Because with the schedule getting tougher here, Brent Venables got a job.
And let me tell you something, and I know Blaine just texted us, and he's right on the money. He said, Kansas State will go 7-5, just like they always do.
Yeah, right.
You know, every time we watch them beat OU, we all go, wow, but they never do anything great. It's just OU. I don't understand it. It's like, I don't know, the minute the purple comes on the field, OU doesn't play as well.
Maybe OU isn't that good this year.
But they've been good in the past, really good, and they've lost to them.
But this is a different,
I agree, but I'm talking about
I agree.
The deal between
3 out of 4 years, dude.
I don't understand it, Al. And then before that, they lost to them a couple times too.
You double-digit favorites?
It is just mind-boggling. I mean, you think about it. Kansas State has beaten OU a whole bunch more than OSU has, a whole bunch more than Baylor has, a whole bunch more than Texas has. How is that possible? I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's just mind-boggling. It really is. But I'll tell you something. One thing that they got to figure out, why the heck do they start slow? They got to figure it out. You can't go down 14-0 to a decent team.
And then they get it 31-24. They score. They got them 30 long. All you got to do is hold them. You got a great chance to tie the game and get overtime.
And then he runs for 40-something yards. Wow. It was. Matt Meyer, give us some stats. They're ugly. I mean, obviously there were good stats on OU's offensive side, but on the other side, terrible. What do you got, Matt Meyer?
Okay, for Oklahoma, Dylan Gabriel, 26 of 39 for 330 yards, 4 touchdowns. Eric Gray ran it 16 times for 114 yards. Gabriel ran it 7 times for 61 yards. Marcus Major, 9 carries, 37. Marvin Mims had 4 catches for 87 yards and a touchdown, but I might point out he had 1 catch in the second half, and that was on, I think, the last drive.
Once again, best player on the team.
But the offense was good. I mean,
the offense was good, but how do you not get Marvin Mims the ball?
You got to give him the ball more. You lose a game and your best player touches it 4 times. That's not good enough.
Well, he has 1 catch in the second half.
That's not.
Again, I don't think this loss is on the offense.
No, you're right. You're right.
It's mainly on the defense. Just saying,
you're
1
right.
catch.
You can't give up as much as they did. Keep going. Sorry, Matt.
Theo Weiss, 3 catches, 75 yards and a touchdown. Jaleel Farouk had 5 catches for 69. Gray had 7 catches, 45 yards. Braden Willis caught 5 passes for 41 yards and 2 touchdowns. Major had 2 catches for 13 yards. For Kansas State individually, Adrian Martinez, 21 of 34.
How many yards did OU have?
4 something.
550.
Oh, wow.
You get 550 and you lose a game. That's embarrassing.
Yep, that's bad. You're right. No, you're right.
550 and you lose.
Bad.
To an offense that had not done much this year at all.
That's
and
right.
to a defense that we thought was pretty good. So that's
You're
right. You can't say anything good, Al. I'm with you 100%. 100%. Kansas State. By the way, real quick, I know you'll do this later, but I want to hear now. How many penalties did OU have, and for how much yardage?
11 for 87.
That's just unacceptable.
And they were critical.
Oh my gosh! How about they're lining up to go for it, and they get a fun the heck out of punt the ball or kick the field goal?
Yeah.
I mean, it was just unbelievable. Just everything. I just couldn't believe it. I could not believe. Go ahead, Matt. Go and give us the Kansas State stats, please.
Martinez, 21 of 34 for 234 yards and a touchdown. He ran it 21 times for 148 yards and 4 touchdowns, along of 55. Deuce Vaughn, 25 carries, 116 yards, along of 22. DJ Giddens, 2 carries, 13 yards. Ben Sinnott had 4 catches for 80 yards. Phillip Brooks, 7 for 56. Malik, 4 catches, 52 yards and a touchdown. Team-wise, Kansas State had 28 first downs, Oklahoma 26. K-State was 8 of 17 on third down. Oklahoma 4 of 13 on third down.
Yeah, that's not good.
Kansas, no, it's not. K-State converted both of their fourth down tries. Oklahoma was 1 of 2 on their fourth down tries. Oklahoma had 550 total yards compared to 509 for Kansas State. We gave the passing numbers. On the ground, Oklahoma ran it 34 times for 220, which is 6.5 a carry. K-State, 49 carries, 275 yards. That's 5.5 a carry. Penalties, 11 for 87 for Oklahoma, 6 for 37, 6 penalties, 37 yards for K-State. Neither team committed a turnover. And I thought for the first time all year long, time of possession was indicative of the game because Oklahoma hadn't had any kind of time of possession this year, but it hadn't mattered. Kansas State had 33 minutes and 46 seconds of time of possession.
Wow. There's just nothing you can say. You can point out some good here and there, but you just can't lose this game. And I got to tell you, our job is to talk about this game, and we have to point out some of the things that these kids do. And I'm going to tell you, some of the dudes on defense that have been really good were really bad today. Stutzman, he was terrible. He missed so many tackles. It was beyond belief.
Nothing.
A couple other guys on the defense.
They never touched Martinez. They couldn't get to him.
I thought the only dude on defense that I thought played a good football game was Jalen Redmond.
Yeah.
Everybody else.
I thought Billy Bowman played pretty well.
Well, Billy Bowman made a couple plays. I agree with you on that. Yeah, but man, it was just.
You give up 500 yards to Kansas State. That just.
Yeah, it's. It's a bad loss.
It's a horrible loss.
And once again, if the Kansas State people or anybody else is listening, we're giving credit to Kansas State.
Exactly.
We're not
Adrian
just saying
Martinez, man.
And
I'm sure they wanted to rip him up there after these last 3 games.
Well, sure they did. Yeah. And I don't know. I don't know how in the world that offense did so bad the first 3 games. It doesn't make any sense.
It makes no sense, Jim.
Because Adrian Martinez today, that was some beautiful. The play calling was just beautiful. It was beautiful. It really was. And then in the beginning of the game, I thought Levy was really conservative, Al. We're sitting there next to each other.
Absolutely.
They're just running it and running it and running it. Listen, give it to you. And he threw for three, whatever it was, so it's not like they didn't throw it. But you let them get way ahead of you. And then you're catching up. You're catching up here. You're catching up there. And then, let me tell you, they came out in the second half. And remember, they run the ball really good for a while. And then they get stopped. And then that's when they got the penalties. That's when they got the penalties. It killed them.
And then I thought it was unusual in the first half. There's about 59 seconds left, and Brent Venables was using timeout.
I hope somebody asks him that question. I'd love to know why they didn't call their timeouts. They went to the locker room with all 3 timeouts. That you can't do that. I'm sorry. They had the ball with a minute left. Call your timeouts. You can see how fast the offense can score, right? So I don't know. That didn't make a lot of sense to me. It really didn't make a lot of sense. But I just thought, I don't know. I couldn't believe I was watching some of the stuff. But we had said we really didn't know how good this team was. We were going to find out today.
But we thought the defense was.
We thought the defense was really good. That's right.
They killed Casey Thompson. They couldn't get to Martinez. He had all day to throw the ball. And then they just take off. It's like, people, you got a quarterback, you can run the ball.
I know Kansas State only had 1 sack. How many sacks did OU have, Matt? Any?
I don't have the defensive numbers. They had a few tackles for losses.
But was there an actual sack? I don't think there was.
Somebody texted in from the 918 area code, said the answer to your question was last year's Baylor game. Bohannon had 107 yards, and the Smith kid at running back had 148.
Wow, see, that shows you how little I follow statistics, because I would have never thought that. Well, they got a lot of work to do, because let me tell you, the whole pregame, if you didn't hear it, we talked about was how good this league is, and you better come to play every week. I'm telling you, there's harder games coming. There are harder games coming.
You got to win your close game, because there's going to be a ton of close games in this
league. And when you're a 13-point underdog, you can't lose.
At home.
This has been happening it happened under Lincoln Riley. Now it's happened under Brent Venables. I just don't understand.
You know who it didn't happen under?
Switzer.
Yes.
Okay. That was a good guess by me.
And Wilkinson.
Okay, you're right. Well, I don't know. It's just an amazing game. And I'll tell you, the Kleiman's a good football coach. He is.
Absolutely.
I can't believe they lost to Tulane, but
he did a great job tonight. Did a lousy job last week.
Well, that's for sure. Yeah.
Right.
That's absolutely for sure. I don't understand how you can lose to Tulane with that team that we watched tonight. But hey, that's what happens in this game. Sometimes you play really well. Sometimes you don't. You played like junk, and Kansas State played really well.
How you give up over 500 yards is still a mystery. I mean, that is just.
I will say this. I mean, I'll throw a positive out there. I think with Farouk and Weiss, they got receivers. They got enough receivers.
They can be a good offense. But now that it all of a sudden shifts to the defense now.
Yeah. Well, the penalties are just beyond belief.
You got to eliminate the penalties.
The penalties are they're unacceptable.
Yeah, they're totally.
You're on your home field. You should not be getting false starts, Al, at home. You shouldn't be getting them.
No.
I don't know. I guarantee you, Bubbles and that staff, they are livid. Tell you, defense, better figure it out because TCU can score points.
And they got a quarterback that can run.
And they got a offensive coordinator / head coach who's brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So Dykes will be watching this whole thing, and they're going to figure out, and they better square it up. Now, that pass they just showed, he had Stoops wide open for a touchdown.
Yep.
He still misses a couple balls here and there, but you said it best. His numbers were good enough to win. Yes, he balls. I guarantee someone's going to call in or two people are going to call in and say, I don't know if he's the answer. But he was good enough to win tonight.
He was really good. 34 points, and we didn't think they were going to be able to score. His numbers are really good.
Well, Kansas State has a good defense.
Right.
I mean, they do. They got all Big 12 guys on there.
They would have scored more points if it wasn't for the penalties.
Oh, my gosh, the penalties. My goodness, I couldn't believe it. Yeah, and just like you said, at crucial points.
And then they drive, good drive to get down there. All the defense got to do is stop them. You got a chance to go tie the game. And the defense lets Martinez all right long, 3rd and long.
55. Was that a 55-yard run, Matt? Was that what that was? 55 yards?
That was his long. I think that was it, yes.
So he had 148. He didn't have 100 yards until he ran the ball. Right? Then he ran the touchdown.
Right, yes.
So I'll tell you what, that kid right there, he's flying high. By the way, he played twice on this stadium. In this stadium, he played really well both times.
Yeah, you're right.
Right? He played here, played well here last year too. And we were all thinking, what are we going to do? You know?
And Venables being a defense coach, he got to be.
Live
it. Got to take the. I mean,
just live it.
Yeah.
I mean, he is. I mean, I promise you, he's in there right now taking responsibility.
Yeah, he is.
But I'll tell you what, he is going to be livid, absolutely livid. Football feedback, Bud Light Game Time, live from historic Campus Corner in Norman, in the RV General Store Sports Animal Mobile Studios, all driven by Eskridge, Lexus of Oklahoma City. Final score, 41-34. Was that what it was?
Yes, it was.
Okay, I want to make sure. There's so many crazy things going on. We'll come back, and I'm gonna make a little prediction today, Al. Okay?
You're taking all the calls.
No. You're the man. But I'm gonna make a little prediction. I will bet you that it won't be like the last game where the last 20 minutes of the show nobody wanted to talk because there's nothing to get upset with. No. You want to think we get calls tonight?
I think there'll be
Matt, are they already trying to get it or what? What's happening, Matt?
Oh, yeah.
Tell them we're not taking calls tonight.
Oh, man. Tell them we're doing a 15-minute post game. We're going to be done real quick. Yeah. That is not true. We're going to be here till 12:30. So give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. Stay with us. This is the leader in sports, The Animal.
Traber. Kansas State shocks Oklahoma tonight, 41-34. Sooners on the TCU next week. We should be getting game time here very, very soon. And Cotton Bowl against Texas. Who engineered the winning drive? Adrian Martinez, obviously.
Absolutely. I guess what the biggest game is OSU and Baylor, right?
Absolutely.
And then probably Iowa State, Kansas, and then OU and
OU could be a
TCU.
2:30 game.
2:30.
Curtis Fitzpatrick has just texted me that Oklahoma against TCU will be an 11 o'clock kick on ABC.
Gee, Monique.
Oh, my goodness.
11 a.m.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay. Well, you better get some sleep. You better go to bed now. I'll be ready for 11
Well, we got
a.m.
good games we can watch later on. And
yeah, I wonder what have they decided everything else, Maddie? I mean, is OSU Baylor? We know what that is?
I would imagine we'll be finding out very soon. Haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
You would think that would be the nighttime game then. Have to be.
Yeah, could be. Yeah, I mean, you're right. It'll have to be either 6:30 or 7, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's going to be a big game right there. Baylor wins that game. They're in pretty good shape to make it to the Big 12 tournament. I mean, championship game. Doesn't mean they will, but they're going to be in good shape. You know?
Yeah. It although the league is so, I don't think any team's going to defeat it in the league. I'd be shocked.
I think it'll be really hard. Yeah.
I think it's going to be really, really,
I agree with
hard.
you on that. Definitely.
I mean, so we'll see. Well, how about this? Oregon State's 7-3.
That is beyond belief. I mean, the total is 70, and the score at half is Oregon State 7, USC 3. What? How did they not score? Oh, no, that's touchdown, huh? There you go. They scored. They just scored. What is that? Fourth quarter? They just scored in the fourth quarter?
USC just scored?
This game.
So they're winning now.
It's 9-7 in the fourth quarter. That game is flying. Started at, 8:30, right? Didn't it start at 8:30 our time, man? I mean, my gosh, it's an hour and
yes.
I mean, we're an hour and a half into the game and they're in the fourth quarter. Is that right, Matt?
Well, if it started at 8:30, we're 2.5 hours.
I apologize. 2.5. Yeah. Yeah, 2.5. And my gosh, that's a crazy quick game. So that's okay. So that's 9-7. Can't believe that.
Wow. Let us get back. Let's take phone calls.
Phone
okay?
calls. Let's do it. Phone calls.
You're on WLS, the Sports Animal. Talk to us, please.
Hey, hello.
What's up?
Hey, hey, this is Lee.
Yeah, Lee.
And I talked to you Friday about, and we were talking about the defense, and I was looking up about the defense, and I was like, I just want to wait and see if they leave receivers open or if they miss tackles all the time. And this game was just like, and I don't know if it was an anomaly, but I mean, the defense was just not on point. And like the offense, like there's so many penalties on the offense, and it's so frustrating being an OU fan, especially living in Nashville and in SEC country. And it's like, I'm going to try to be positive because this is the first year and all these everybody's getting ready and everybody's trying to learn and all that stuff with the new system. But this game is just extremely disappointing.
I hear you, man. I can understand. No doubt about it. Very, very disappointing. I mean, I don't think that you should give up, but yeah, the one thing about OU is after they lose to Kansas State, normally they usually come back and win a lot. But I mean, we will see.
I mean, how many times they've lost the first game in Big 12 play?
I know.
Opening game.
And then they roll. You know,
well, the next 2 weeks are going to tell us everything with this club. I mean, it's going to, and if Ewers is healthy, it doesn't bode well for this defense against Texas.
Well,
although, you should score on Texas. Texas got their own problems. So
yeah, we may get back to some of those high scoring games again, right?
Well, yeah, I mean,
is that what we're going to do?
This is the pass. I mean, the offense is good enough to win, and you give up over 500 yards.
Crazy.
To Kansas State.
I want to remind people before you go to the phones, Football Feedback is also streaming live on the Sports Animal Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and the Sports Animal app. So you can watch it, and you'll see how Al and I are getting after it in here. So
Let's get back to the phones. You're on WLS, the Sports Animal. Talk to us, please.
Hello.
Go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on?
What's up? Go ahead, man.
Go ahead.
Hey, what?
It's cool.
Come on, man. You were ready to go. We had you. We're ready to go, and you're too busy asking what's up, man. Call again and talk. We're with you.
Back to the phones. You're on the Animal. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah,
So-
go ahead.
Can
What's
you hear
on your
me?
mind?
Go ahead.
Okay, let's go to another caller.
What is going on, people? Let's go.
Jeez.
Let me get the number, 405-900-9957. Hopefully you can answer the call and talk. That's what we're going to do. Go ahead, Al.
You're on the Animal. Go ahead.
Hey, Al, how's it going?
Good.
Great. Hey, my question is this. So, OU has been having a great time, in the Big 12. But my concern is, as an OU fan, huge OU fan, I mean, when we go to the SEC, I mean, we can't even beat K-State. I mean, what happens whenever we play, Mississippi State and, Florida and all of that? I mean, they're
not going to destroy
you.
you.
Wrong?
No, you're not going to say they're going to destroy you. I mean, listen, sometimes they play really well. Tonight they played bad. If they play like this, they're going to lose a bunch of games in the SEC. Kansas State is a good football team. They're not. I mean, if you think that they're terrible, they're not. They're a good football team. I can't explain the first 3 games, but they came out and they played. You got to give some credit.
Good player. He's a
Martinez got better and better and better as his career has gone along, and
so much better.
And listen, they had to deal with Skylar Thompson being hurt all the time and coming back and being hurt. When Skylar Thompson didn't play, their quarterback play was horrible.
That's right.
But this kid can play when he's healthy.
No doubt.
And they let him play in this game, and he did it, and OU's defense played like junk.
And that's another thing where I hear OU fans, well, let's get in the SEC next year. No, you don't want it. OU is not ready to go into the SEC.
No. They got to get a couple of these, their recruiting class is going really well.
Yeah.
They got to put 2 or 3 of those together.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, there's teams in the SEC that don't play well. I mean, Vanderbilt stinks. Missouri's not any good. Auburn's not any good. Auburn's not any good.
I mean,
but the fact of the matter is the big boys are good.
Yeah.
So you got to get better.
Got to get
better.
Let's get back to the telephone. You're on the Animal. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Hello?
Talk. Okay,
We got some people that have been drinking pretty hard, man. They can't figure out how to talk on the phone.
Try it again. You're on WWLS, the Sports Animal. Go ahead, please.
Al?
Yes.
Hey, Al. How's it going?
Good. What's on your mind?
Well, I look at the game, and I'm thinking that I like Venables, but he dropped the balls tonight. He didn't make the changes he needed to do on defense.
Well, yeah, they didn't play well on defense, and the coaches, I'm sure Brett's taking responsibility for that. They were terrible, horrible on defense tonight.
Okay.
Okay?
That dude's about 1 beer away from passing out.
Yeah, but he
what?
still has a chance. He hasn't finished that 1 beer, and he hasn't out
Well,
yet.
he better drink it and
But,
go. He's got to go down.
You know what he did? He said, before I pass out, I'm going to call Jim and Al.
He
That's
did-
admirable.
No, it's admirable.
It's really
He
admirable.
just didn't sound real good, but it was
That's right.
admirable.
But he didn't pass
We'll
out.
listen,
15 minutes from now, he's a goner.
I'll give him A for effort. Hopefully he'll pass out in his bed and not on the floor
Yes,
somewhere.
absolutely.
At least he talked. We've had 2 or 3 that couldn't even talk.
Oh, you're right. That's exactly right.
Big
At least
choice.
he could talk.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think originally he's from New Jersey, so
No.
he's having a hard
Columbia,
time.
Maryland.
I think he's a Jersey guy, if I'm not mistaken.
Columbia, Maryland.
Boy, go, Al. You're on fire. Go,
we
go.
got somebody scoring this game, the Oregon State game. What's going on here?
I don't know what's going on here. It's still they're showing 7-3. 7-3. So.
Well, it's 9-7, right?
I know, yeah. So it's 9-7 now.
And 7.
10-7. Okay.
Oh, 10-7? Oh, they went for 2 and made it, I guess, huh?
No, it was 7-3. They
No, it was
scored a
9-7.
touchdown.
We saw them score to make it 9-7, remember?
And then they got
they
an
kicked
extra
the field
point,
goal.
made it 10-7.
I am totally lost. It's 11 o'clock. I'm trying to figure out what's happening.
How much time left in that game, Matt?
I'm looking at 14-18 in the fourth quarter.
14-18?
It's early in the fourth.
Okay, good.
That's amazing. They scored 17 points in the total 70. Huh? That's
USC
crazy.
wins this game. They're going to move up in the ratings again.
No doubt. No doubt about it.
Okay.
There are going to be a couple teams that move up in the ratings with OU losing.
OSU's going to move up.
Yep, OSU will move up. You're right.
You're on the animal. Go ahead.
Hello, is it me?
Yeah, what's
it's
up?
you.
Hey guys, what's happening?
Nothing. What's on your mind?
Nothing. I don't want to say I really love you guys post game show.
Thank you.
You guys
Pretty good, isn't it?
Thank
you. Obviously a big OU fan. Very disappointed tonight. I don't know where to go from here. But I think the only thing worse than OU's offense tonight was Jim Trevor's batting average in the.
Okay. Here we go.
You can barely talk, idiot boy. I tell you what, it's beautiful that you're bringing up me when your Sooners get beat. It was my fault, by the way. Yeah, I'm the one that lost the game. So there you go.
I was going to say that, but now that you brought it up.
You know what? You're right. I lost the game.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
When OU loses, it's my fault.
Your
When
fault.
they win, it's you.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
How come nobody yells at you? I don't understand why.
Because I'm a nice guy.
If they only knew you. If they only knew you. They only knew you.
Let us get back to the telephones. It's a strange night.
It is. It really is.
And it's going to get
night.
stranger.
You're right.
Go ahead. You're on the animal.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Wow.
Let's call.
Okay.
This is good stuff.
This is good stuff.
Man. Let's see if we can get let's
405-900 WWLS.
Very nice. You finally figured that out.
Yeah.
About 6
No,
months.
you were the ones that couldn't get it.
You're right. I was. I couldn't figure it out, but I got it now.
Oh, you got it.
I
You're
got it
down
now.
pat.
I'm in.
Let's go. You're on WWLS, the Sports Animal. Talk to us, please.
Is it me?
Yes.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Finally, I keep saying, is it me? Is it me? I'm going to be a rare thing. I'm one of the few OU fans that's been drinking all day, and I'm going to be like normal.
Okay. Go ahead.
I'm not really surprised about the defense. It happens every year, and I've seen our defense be a lot worse in the past 4 or 5 years. And to all the OU fans, the world's not going to end. The older you get, the easier these losses are to take. And it could be worse. We could be Texas with Kansas beating us every year.
All right, man. Thanks.
See,
it's time for him to pass out, too, although he did a nice job.
Yeah, and he'd been drinking all day. He admitted it.
Said he was drinking all day, and he made it through.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with
Good
that.
for him.
All right, why don't we try to see if we can get some people on the phone lines that can talk a little bit. That's what happens when you play a 7 o'clock game. And there's a loss.
And we got to bet OU TCU 11 o'clock next week.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That
Just
is
wonderful. And hopefully Monday they can announce the OU Texas. If not, it'll be next Saturday night. So.
No,
and
that's right. Yeah.
we should be able to find out what time OSU and Baylor is.
Listen, I'd bet my next paycheck that OU Texas is going to be 11 a.m. as well. They both lost.
Well, then they put it at 2:30. 11 o'clock thing is a good one.
Yeah, not for you and me.
No, not for you and I, but I mean for the network, it's
Well, I would love to have a 2:30 game.
So
that would be wonderful.
You know, it's not a night game, so it's either 11 or 2:30. So
the problem is that there's so many different games at 11 o'clock, right? There's Fox, there's ESPN, there's ESPN2, there's ABC. I mean, they're everywhere at 11 a.m.
I know.
So even if it's not an important game or it doesn't look like it's going to be.
Well, is it even the biggest game in the league? They're probably not even the biggest game in the Big 12.
Matt Meyer, do we know what games there are that weekend in the Big 12 by any chance? Can you help us 2 weeks from today?
You got two teams, 0-1 in conference play.
Right. Well, both of them probably hopefully win this week.
Well, but if they, if OU loses to TCU.
Oh, well, then it's, no bets off. What are the games that weekend, Matt?
So Oklahoma, Texas weekend, the other Big 12 games, there's 3 of them. Oklahoma State hosting Texas Tech.
Well, that might
Kansas
be. I mean,
State.
Texas Tech with a win.
Yeah.
If OSU beats Baylor, then
Right.
that'll be a big game. By the way, before you go any further, who's Texas Tech play this week, Matt? Week from today. Do you know?
They are Kansas State next Saturday.
Okay. Well, that's interesting.
Wow.
Well, yeah, if Texas Tech goes to Kansas State and wins, well, then
Every game in this conference is going to be interesting this year.
no, you're right. You're exactly right. But they got to put a marquee game out there. What were the other games? You got Texas Tech at what'd you say? I'm sorry. What'd you say?
Yeah, Texas at Oklahoma
At
State.
Oklahoma State. What are the other ones?
Kansas State is at Iowa State.
Okay.
And TCU is at Kansas.
Okay. Well, then they're probably going to wait.
They're
till
probably
the
going to wait.
They're
Yeah,
going to wait.
They're
They're
going to
going
wait.
to because if Kansas wins and beats Iowa State and TCU are to beat OU, that's a huge game. TCU Kansas.
Yeah.
By the way, Arkansas, man, unbelievable.
A&M's so lucky, man.
The kickers today have just been a joke. The kicker for Missouri, the kicker for Arkansas. I mean, Mike, that's why I can't stand the kickers.
One positive for OU.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Schmidt made his field goals. I mean, that was a positive. Football feedback, Bud Light Game Time, live from historic Campus Corner in Norman. We are here in the RV General Store, Sports Animal Mobile Studios, driven by Eskridge, Lexus of Oklahoma City. Kansas State wins 41-34. We will come back and try to get some of you to talk on the radio. Stay with us on The Animal.
Kansas State shocked Oklahoma 41-34. Who rose to the occasion is obviously Adrian Martinez.
I actually would say offensive coordinator Colin Klein. I thought he had a great game plan.
He did a good.
He mixed it up. You're right. Martinez was unbelievable. He could get every award tonight. He was amazing. But I thought that Colin Klein really came out with a really nice game plan. They mixed it up with the run, the throw. They ran the quarterback. And you know what I really liked? You and I were sitting there watching the game, and I said, gosh, they stopped running the quarterback. But he was just waiting. And then he run play action and the quarterback, and he gained every time 8 yards, 9, 11 yards. I just thought it was a brilliant game plan.
Well, OU obviously wasn't ready for the quarterback run game.
I don't know how that could be.
So, boy, Kentucky holds on to beat Northern Illinois by 8 points.
It just this season is just psychotic, Al. The big. I was saying to you off the air. It's obvious. Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State. They're really good. Who else? You said maybe Michigan, maybe USC. Remember, I was putting OU up there before this game. There's a possibility to be number 4. So I don't know. I don't know who's going to be there. Who right now, if you had to pick the daggone Final Four, what would you pick?
Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, and
Michigan?
No. USC.
Oh my! If USC makes the Final Four, that'll be. I may throw up in my mouth. But they could. They very well could. I still don't think they're going to run through that league. But heck, this game's not over. Oregon State just missed a field goal, Matty.
Now, USC plays.
I believe that's right.
Does USC play Washington?
No, they don't play Washington.
I know they don't play Oregon. They don't play Oregon. Do they?
No, I don't think they play Washington either. They got to go to Utah. That's a really tough game. UCLA looks like they might be decent. I don't know.
Yeah, but they barely beat a bad team last week. Now,
South
who they
Alabama.
playing today?
I think they might be off. Is UCLA playing today, Matt? I didn't see them.
I don't know.
BYU struggling with Wyoming over here. It's just crazy times, Al.
Oh, yeah, UCLA killed Colorado.
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
Colorado.
Boy,
is
Colorado
so
is.
bad.
Oh, they're one of the worst Power 5 teams.
Oh,
they're
I
terrible.
mean, they hung within 28 of UCLA.
There you go. That's a good game. You're right. 28.
Wow. Okay, let's get back. Let's get the phones. You're on WLS, the Sports Animal. Talk to us, please.
Hey, Jim and Al, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Hey, the thing that I take away about tonight is that this was a complete team loss. From the offense with the penalties, all the needless penalties that killed drives, that killed momentum, and then special teams, once you get up, tie the game 14-14, you kill the momentum with a very big kickoff turn into OU territory. And then the defense always seeming to play back on their heels, not knowing where, Martinez is or anything. You all mentioned Jalen Redmond had a nice game. The only one who I saw other than him that was playing in the backfield was Isaiah Coe. He made a couple plays beyond the line of
now. Will you do me a favor, sir?
3 phases of the game.
Will you do me a favor after you hang up? Will you call back again, because that's a great phone call? All right.
Yeah.
You've obliterated the rest of them just in one phone call.
You know we didn't see tonight was Reggie Grimes.
Yeah. Did he not play?
He was out there.
I never saw him make one play.
No.
And the shocking thing is no sacks. Not one sack.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
It's beyond belief. But I'll tell you what, that caller is right on the money. You're right. The defense was the biggest blame, but he brings up a good point. You tied up 14-14. Stadium's going crazy. Kickoff for 50-something yard return. You look at the penalties on the offense. Yeah, the offense had good numbers. There's no doubt that they did. But penalties at horrible times, I think that's a great call. Yeah. And the coaching staff should be involved in it too.
Absolutely.
It's an all-out loss.
We said on the one where they got the delay of game, you got to call a timeout on the sideline.
Yeah, what's up with that? Every coach on the sideline is right there when they get down to 2 seconds or whatever. Then they call a timeout. I don't know. That was a little bit weird. Maybe that has to do with Brent being his first year as a head coach. I don't know, but that caller's right on the money. I wish it was about 12:30 because we should leave on that guy because he was impressive. So
let's get back to the phones. You're on the Animal. Go ahead.
Is it me?
Yep.
It's you.
I think the difference in the game was the offense, the quarterback.
Their offense, you mean?
OU's offense. We know that in the Big 12, a 2 scores the most points, and if we would have had a quarterback that would have connected.
No, you're
you're
crazy. They had over 500 yards and scored 34 points on a good defense.
Here's the deal. There is no doubt that Dylan Gabriel is not a superstar. No doubt. We've been telling you that since August, before the season, right, Al?
Right.
But he's a good, solid player. And today he threw 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Now he missed some throws.
Right.
The Drake Stoops is just you have to make that throw. It's a touchdown.
You take those numbers any day of the week against
550 yards and 34 points. You should win with the way we thought their defense was. So you can blame the quarterback if that makes you feel good. He's not Kyler Murray. He's not Baker Mayfield.
It was a really good performance
But he's a
tonight.
good player, and he had a nice night.
Yes.
He missed a couple throws, no doubt.
Most quarterbacks miss throws. Most quarterbacks aren't.
Unfortunately, those dudes before very rarely missed them.
Yeah.
Right?
So, my gosh. And how many total yards did he have tonight?
He ran for 60-something, right? Didn't he? I think he had 62 yards rushing and 300 and something yards passing.
So, yeah, he had nearly 400 yards. And you blame the quarterback?
Gabriel had 330 through the air, 61 on the ground.
Yeah, there you go.
390.
395 yards.
Yeah.
And didn't turn it over.
And didn't turn over. Yeah, a really good game caller.
And got sacked 1 time.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
What are you looking for?
If I was him and I think people are going to blame me, I'd transfer tomorrow.
Yeah,
are you kidding me?
Hey, Caleb Williams ain't having that night tonight.
No, they got points. You're right. But
and his stats. Hey, Matt, what's Caleb at?
Well,
he
was
now?
3. He was 3 for what? 12.
Yeah.
At one point.
I mean,
yeah. Once you look up Caleb Williams, and also give us a little update on that if you could, Matt. They decided to put
Caleb
that
Williams
stupid game
tonight,
on the Pac-12 network.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Williams tonight, 11 of 27 for 123.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And Craig texted me. He's watching the game. He said that Oregon State could have had a 1st and goal, but had a penalty, backed them up, and then they missed like a 46-yard field goal.
Boy, penalties.
So they
kill you.
Yeah.
So what's going on now, Matt?
Well,
we need Craig Humphreys to keep texting.
Yeah. Craig can keep us abreast.
Looks like USC just punted. USC just went 3 and out.
So how much time?
Oregon State has the ball on their own 32.
What, probably about 8 minutes or so?
And it looks like the Beavers just threw an interception.
Oh, man.
So USC has the ball, probably pretty decent field position, I'm guessing. Midway through the 4th quarter.
Okay.
Wow.
That's
okay.
crazy. I'd have never thought there'd be 17 points in the 4th quarter scored in that game.
Well, I said that Friday.
You did. You always are ahead of the curve.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
By the way, you know what? Here's an interesting stat. Oregon scored 29 points in the 4th quarter today. First time in the history of their program they've scored 29 or more in the 4th quarter.
Wow.
Crazy.
Wow.
By the way, the stat that I gave earlier, Matt, about Texas, remember I messed everything up with Texas Tech versus Texas? It was. Right. This is what it was. It was when a school from the state of Texas is in the top 25.
Oh, okay.
That's what it was. So Baylor, TCU, Texas, first time since 2008 that they had beat one of those schools in the top 25. That's what it was, Matt. I finally figured it out. Or somebody messaged me and told me so.
Who was it?
I don't know. One of my listeners, one of my followers.
Thunderman?
No.
Thunder guy?
No, something else. Yeah, something else.
Let's get back to the phones. You're on the animal. Go ahead.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
What's up?
Hey,
6:45
there's a
left.
few bullet points here that I've got. One is the 3-man D front. There was no pressure on Martinez. Bonehead penalties at the end of the game and throughout the entire game. Defense, man, they were just arm tackling. They weren't swarming the ball. Poor time management in the 4th quarter. I really don't know what Brent was doing there, what his thought process was. But there was just a lot of time that went off that clock there in the 4th that they could have preserved to try and, get something happening. But it just seemed like there were just a lot of miscues.
Good call. Couldn't agree more. Al and I were sitting next to each other watching the game over at Othello's, and thank you to them. We appreciate them. And you just looked at me, I don't know, it's 2nd quarter, and you said, they're not getting any pressure at all.
No.
And this has been
Yeah.
a really good defensive line.
They beat up Casey Thompson last week.
By the way, what a great point. You're right. I didn't hear Grimes' name once.
Yeah. No.
He did play, right?
I guess I didn't see him
Definitely
out.
played.
He did?
Yeah.
I mean, how can
Yeah.
you not?
We
As
didn't
good
see
as-
number 14 at all.
As good as he is, I
Yeah.
never saw anything about him, Matt. Did you ever see him mention their name, Matt?
No, not much. No, not that I can really remember.
Wow. Well, we thought the
I
dude
saw
was a
Isaiah Cole
superstar.
make plays. I saw Jalen Redmond make plays. I saw Johnson make a play or two.
Yep.
I didn't see a lot from Grimes tonight.
Interesting.
Maybe he did, but I don't remember seeing it.
Stutzman got killed.
Stutzman missed so many tackles. Now, again, I told Al, everybody misses tackles on Deuce Vaughn. I mean, the guy is just, the moves that he makes are unbelievable. But, man, every time Stutzman would have him right in his daggone, like right there, and next thing you know, he couldn't touch him.
SC has to punt from their own 2, 5:48 left.
How the heck they get all the way back to their own 2? That's crazy.
Let's get back to the phones. You're on the animal. Go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah.
How are you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm good. Hey, look, I have a maybe different look of things. The offense played fine. They should have won. Defense was bad. But Levy, to me, starts off slow, running up the middle. He's
Yep.
very predictable and very conservative.
Totally agree.
And when you don't have Mark Mims in the game, it doesn't make any sense to me.
But they got 500 yards.
But listen, though.
I
You're
agree.
right. They had a great offensive night. A lot of it was late. But they've got to stop giving it up right away.
I
Because
agree.
what happens is Kansas State gets confidence. After they
You're
get
right.
14 points, they think,
Yeah.
we can beat this
No
team.
doubt.
If
No
you
doubt.
go up 14-0, then they're going to go,
Absolutely.
oh, I don't know. I mean, they got to do it early.
I
Al.
agree.
Nebraska was so bad
I agree.
that their 7 didn't mean a daggone thing,
No.
right? But when a team's pretty good,
Well, against Kent State, they were terrible in the first
exactly. They got to figure out how to get off the daggone ball right away. That's
But-
a great call,
half.
man.
Oregon State got the ball in the SC 30.
Oh.
Yeah?
Go Beavers. Go Beavers.
Bucky Beaver.
Go Beavers.
Let's get back to the phones. You're on the animal.
Hello, is it me?
It's you.
All right. I was wondering how many
TD
sacks did
Oregon
we have
State.
tonight, and are we?
TD Oregon State.
What'd you say? What'd you say?
How many people did we have rushing? Were we 3?
Well,
sacks?
sometimes they
And
rush
on that
3.
3rd and 7
Sometimes they blitz.
Sometimes they rush 3. Sometimes they rush 4. And sometimes they blitz. I mean, they kind of mixed it up. But they did do a decent amount of 3-man rush. And when you 3-man rush and you run a zone and you don't get to the quarterback, they're more than likely going to get they're going to do something.
The problem, they let Martinez outside. I mean, you contain him. You got to contain him.
Yeah, no, he made some great plays. There were a couple times where I thought he was going to get sacked, and he made a little move, and he just went. You know, I'll tell you what, that Deuce Vaughn, man, he's a football player.
Stud.
Someone in the NFL, you take him in about the 3rd or 4th round, he's a player.
I tell you, he played really well. Eric Gray played really well.
He did. He ran hard.
Yeah.
Except the one time he could have gotten a first down. You remember how he was running to his left, and he decided to dance, and he didn't get it. If he just put his head down like he had the entire game. No, he ran really hard.
He's had 2 really big-time games.
He has proven. He has proven to me that he is an everyday back. I did not think that when the season started, but he has proven it to me. They're good at running back.
Yeah.
And they're really good at wide receiver. And the offensive line today, I thought, played average.
Yeah.
But they scored a lot of points.
Yeah, and it got over 500 yards. So,
I know.
If the penalties killed them, I mean, that's the only thing that made the offensive line today is the penalties.
You're right. You're exactly right. So what's his name? Wanya Morris got hurt, Matt. Didn't he, Matt? He was out of the game.
No, it was Harrison got hurt.
Okay. You're right. Harrison came off the field.
So let's get back to the telephones. 14-10 Oregon State, 4:41 left.
Uh-oh. They got to stop him.
Got to stop him.
You're on the animal.
Yeah, you're on the animal. Go ahead.
Hey. So if I told you that Martinez ran for 21 carries, 148 yards, and 4 tugs, would you believe me?
I would now.
Hello?
Yeah, I would now.
Yeah. All right. I mean, but you'd think after 10 carries or 12, whatever he had at halftime, you would make those adjustments in the locker room to start spying the quarterback. And we just kept letting him run it. And then when he gets down the stretch, we got 3rd and 17, the crowd's on their feet, and we give up, I don't know, a 40, 50-yard run.
55-yard
where
rush.
He's inside the 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I will.
We gotta start making adjustments.
Well, let me just say I appreciate your call. I heard guys walking by here earlier yelling about no adjustments. You know, the adjustment thing, you have no idea if they made adjustments or not. None of us do. We don't know. The spy thing, very few people spy. Very few.
Venables said after the game, and we'll hear his comments later, he said they had a spy on the 55-yard run.
What did he do? Ran into somebody?
Just didn't execute. Just got out of position.
There you go. So there you go, caller. He did put a spy on him. And I'm telling you, if you spy on a quarterback the whole game, they're going to light you up because they take a guy away, and now they're going to be throwing it all in the middle of the field.
Can I bring you back to the past?
I would love to go in the past with you, Al.
It was an October afternoon, on a Tuesday afternoon at the Bricktown Brewery. 1995, OU had just got beat by Colorado. Colorado quarterback said they made adjustments at halftime, and that changed the game. Colorado came back and beat Oklahoma. I asked then coach of Oklahoma,
would that be Howard Schnellenberger?
It was Howard Schnellenberger.
Howard Schnellenberger, okay.
Howard, Colorado coach said that they beat you because they made adjustments at halftime. What about you? What about Howard? No one makes adjustments at halftime.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the call.
You're welcome.
Should have been fired right then.
I will say, though, because we've all heard about adjustments, whenever somebody keeps going, people always says, I didn't make adjustments. We don't know if they made adjustments.
And also, that's a great point. You know, coaches get blamed for everything. Players got to get blamed. Whoever screwed up on that play, it's his.
I wonder who was spying him. I hope it wasn't Stutzman, because I think Stutzman's going to be, as Dean says, an All-American, but he didn't play well tonight. He missed a bunch of tackles.
No.
The one kid that everybody can't stand around here that I've told you for 3 years, the white kid, I thought he played pretty well. He ran down the field. He was covering some the Kurt Warner's son a couple times. He's right on him.
Yeah.
So, the adjustment thing is a little bit overrated. But, hey, they didn't stop him in the first half, and then they did in the third quarter, and then the fourth quarter they got
when they had to stop
when
him.
they had to, they could not do it. You're exactly right.
Let's get back to telephones. You're on WS Sports Animal. Go ahead.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's
it's
up?
You.
Hey, yeah, I was just gonna say that, you know, there's two teams that give OU fans trauma every year, and it's Kansas State and Iowa State. And I feel like either one. I feel like if we're gonna play like this, we better be prepared to play Iowa State in a few weeks, because if we play like we did tonight,
better be prepared to play TCU next week.
Yeah, right.
You play like you do tonight, you're gonna get beat by them.
But what he's saying is true.
I agree.
Kansas State and Iowa State give OU big problems. They do. Kansas State is amazing.
But how many times has Iowa State beat OU in 100 years?
Well, you're right. But lately they've been better. But Kansas State here lately, they know how to play against. They know how to play against OU
with different coaches.
You're
whatever.
right. With different coaches, different players. Doesn't matter. Football feedback, Bud Light Game Time, live from historic Campus Corner in Norman in RV General Store Sports Animal Mobile Studios, driven by Eskridge, Lexus of Oklahoma City. We got some good calls. You did a good job on the calls there, Al.
Yeah, I've been impressed here lately.
By the way, OU before the game today was -7 against TCU this morning. Might be 3 or 4 after the performance tonight. We will see. And you know what? I'm going to let you know right now. I'm going out on a limb. I think OU will play well last year. Every single time they play bad and everybody thinks they stink, they come back and play well. So I'm going to go with that right now. We'll be back. A lot more coming up right here on The Sports Animal.
41-34 tonight. Again, we talked about it, Jim. They lose games like this all year. Now, they could lose more. This might be the biggest uphill because the Big 12 being as tough.
Yeah,
this year.
that's a really good point. A lot of times they come back and win a bunch of games, but the league's not as good as it is this year. I mean, there's not going to be an easy game. There just isn't. Now,
touchdown USC.
Oh, my
Caleb Williams
gosh.
ran them down the field.
Gee, many Christmas.
So
how much time's left?
Probably less than a minute right now. 1:13 left.
Well, I mean, they could go down, you know. Was it 14? So it's going to be 17-14? They go down, kick a field goal, and send it to overtime, possibly.
Well, who haven't the Eskridge mile? I'm going to give Chris Kleiman the way he got this team ready after a devastating defeat to Tulane.
I think if they'd have won that, they'd be the top 15.
No doubt about it.
Yeah, that Tulane game is mind-boggling. They're trying to figure out why.
Caleb Williams Addison for a touchdown.
Daggone it.
Jeez.
I was really hoping they were going to lose.
You know what? We get on Cowherd and all those for saying how they were going to turn USC right away. They were 4-8 a year ago. Well, they've done it.
Yeah, but we both knew they'd be really good offensively.
Yeah.
They're
good defensive tonight.
Well, tonight they are because Oregon State's good offensively. They have made some plays, obviously.
So
I taped the game, so I'm going to try to watch it.
Okay. Let's get to the phones. You're on WLS Sports Animal. Go ahead.
Hey, guys. What's going on?
What's up?
Hey, three things. One, obviously, we knew that Lincoln was going to turn it around because he stole 3, 4, 5 of our best players and then also used the portal to steal everybody else's players. So obviously we knew he was going to turn it around, right?
Definitely offensively. Definitely, yeah.
Second, today, watching the game, we failed on multiple areas. But the one thing I do want to point out, and this is not why we lost the game. We lost the game because he missed an easy touchdown pass to
You lost the game because you gave up over 500 yards and 41 points. My God, what do you want?
Hey, listen, again, if you're blaming him missing Stoops, which, by the way, he was wide open. It was a bad throw. But if you're blaming the game, or even if you think that was a big part of it, I'm sorry.
Then also tell you all the great passes he made in the game.
That's right. He did make a bunch of great passes.
Yeah, his stats.
And he made a couple great runs, too.
Yeah, over 400 yards offense. You're trying to blame the quarterback?
500 yards.
Yeah. Well, he had over 400 yards.
He had right at 395.
Are you kidding me?
No.
It's ludicrous.
I'll say it again. He's not a superstar.
But he was really good tonight.
He played really well.
He was really good tonight.
I mean,
if the defense does anything.
I don't know what.
And remember, we said K-State's really good defensively.
Right.
Look what he did tonight.
You're right. You're exactly right, Al. I'm 100% with you. But I'm telling you, they're going to keep on trying to blame him. I'm just telling you. That's what they do. Been doing it for years. Anyway.
Okay.
The defense is the thing we got to figure out.
I remember calls when Jalen Hurts was here. He was getting ripped after every game.
Yeah. What did he finish in the Heisman?
I think he finished second.
Yeah. Well, he should have finished first. Al.
But
if he wasn't first,
he couldn't make it in the NFL, though. So that's why.
That's my fault. I thought he'd make it, but I didn't think he was going to be a starter.
Yeah,
he's really good.
Insane.
Really good.
Let's get back.
Matt, what's happening in that game? Is Oregon State doing anything by any chance?
Well, let's see.
17-14, I think it's over with.
They have a 1st and 10 at their own 32.
Okay.
How much time you got, you know?
Minute 13.
Oh, so they must have got the kickoff or something. What happened? I don't understand.
I got it. It looked like, I don't know if that's finally sent me, but 17-14, you said.
Well, 17-14 is what happened when they scored the touchdown. Now, they had some time on the clock, so it's ridiculous they put this game on the Pac-12 network.
Gained 5 yards on first down.
Okay.
Oh, they gained 5 on first down.
So what yard line they at, Matt?
Their own 32.
Okay.
Oregon State's on their own 32.
So they need about 35, 40 yards to have a chance at a field goal. So they could do that.
Let's get back to the telephones. You're on the Animal. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Is it me?
Yeah, it's you.
Is it me?
Yes.
Yeah, but by the way, they just got a first down on Oregon. They're 1st and 10. Oregon State 46. A minute 3 left.
44 seconds left.
Okay, well I must have missed something then. Okay, incomplete. You're ahead of me then. Go ahead, caller. Sorry.
Hey, go Beavers.
Yes, go Beavers.
I just wanted to say, let's give credit to K-State. They played an amazing game. Martinez played amazing, made the defense look silly. The runs he made were amazing. He'd scramble out, make the throws down the sidelines, played the best game that I've seen him ever play. And I just felt like we couldn't seize the momentum. We get the 2 touchdowns in the first half, and we allow the kick return. Mm-hmm. And then in the second half, we had the great runs, and then we would have the holding call, lost that drive, had another drive going, get a false start, lose that drive. And we just shot ourselves in the foot. And as Venables likes to say, we got to play to the standard, and we just didn't play to the standard tonight.
Agreed, man.
Ball game, USC.
What happened? They intercept or something?
Intercept pass, yeah.
Yep.
Tag on it. Oh, well. At least I had Oregon State plus 6.5. So, boy, Vegas lost a ton on that game. Everybody bet Oregon State.
Wow. Okay, good call, by the way.
Yeah, no, he's right. You're right.
Call.
The momentum situation, whenever they had it, they gave it back. I agree.
And again, the offense would have scored more than 34 points if the offensive line didn't make those penalties.
You're right. No, the offensive line just kept jumping.
Right, the people are criticizing. You can criticize the offense like criticizing the other parts of the offense is ludicrous.
One of the things that no one ever talks about, okay, and Matt, do you have the actual play-by-play of the game, Matt?
Yes.
Okay. Let's start off the second half. Okay. They hand the ball off to Gray for about, 15. Is that what it was?
Okay.
First
let's
play.
See. Second half. For 11, yes.
Okay. Then the next they hand it to him again, he goes for about 18. Is that correct?
17.
Okay.
Correct.
What's the next play?
A 1-yard run for
Okay.
Gray.
Right. They ran. That's right. So they ran the ball around. Then give me go keep going.
Pass to Gray for 19, got him down to the Kansas State 29.
Right.
Then they go a jet sweep or a reverse, I forget which, to Farouk for 9. Then Marcus Major, and that was after there was a penalty in there somewhere.
There was a penalty in there. It might have been a holding penalty.
There was a 1st and 20, so Farouk gains
holding,
9.
Yeah, that's
holding
right.
penalty,
yeah.
Kill the drive.
2nd and 11.
2nd and 11, Major runs for 1, and then 3rd and 10, throw to Marcus Major for 2 yards.
And then they kick a field goal.
Correct.
Okay, so the penalty shut them down. They looked like they came out tough. Then when K-State got the ball, was it 3 and out? Correct me if I'm wrong.
They had 1 first down, then they punted.
Then OU started moving again, right?
Yeah, so Gray ran for 25.
Yeah.
Then Gray ran for 10.
Listen to this, Al.
Then incomplete, pass to Major for 11.
Okay, then what?
Well, you had to punt.
There was a penalty involved in
there.
There
was another penalty. That's right, because they
because they had an 11-yard pass.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So you see what I'm saying?
Right.
They came out and they were like, yeah, we came hard. And the guy who called in and said no adjustments looked like they made some adjustments because they shut them down and they started doing better stuff. And then, correct me if I'm wrong, then Kansas State gets the ball back. Was that a 3 and out, Matt, the next time?
No, they went 11 plays, 69 yards, kicked a field goal.
That's when they turned it back around. We went field goal. That's right. Okay. So anyway, they had some momentum and then gone, So I don't know, man. They never could figure out what to do at the right time in this game. They did stupid things at the wrong time.
Yeah. Let's get back to the telephones. You're on the animal. Go ahead.
How's it going, fellas?
Good.
Good, how you doing?
Hey, so no doubt, an incredible game to watch, up and down, up and down, up and down.
Sports Animal, do you want to
We
go
also know Venables trying to figure it out, first-time head coach, tough spot to be in, no doubt, right?
Yep.
He started at Kansas State. There's a lot of history behind it all. Do you think that Kansas State was able to capitalize, knowing how Brent Venables thinks, to take advantage of some of his schemes and his thought process in order to win this game?
Absolutely not. because
they watched
Bill
film.
Snyder's not coaching them.
No, they watched film and they saw the things that they were doing.
Yeah,
but no, Brent Venables didn't have any. It wasn't like they got inside of Brent Venables' mind.
Yeah, because he went to Kansas State. No.
And also, he's a brand new head coach, so he doesn't have any tendencies really yet. But they watched film and they figured out what needed to be done. I mean, you got to give a lot of credit to Kleiman. And like I said, Colin Klein, is this his first year as the offensive coordinator?
I think so.
I mean, I thought he was. Now, remember, they scored 10 against Tulane, right? So it doesn't make OU look very good as far as that's concerned. But I really thought that Colin Klein had a wonderful game plan. He did a lot of great things. But OU turned momentum and then penalties, kickoff returns. They did it all night long.
You just said the whole thing. They scored 10 against Tulane.
Yep,
so anybody who wants to blame the offense is an idiot.
Well, they're gonna. You know that. They're out there. I'd hate to see what's happening on the internet. I'm sure they're killing.
My goodness.
They want somebody else to start at quarterback, I'm sure. So
let's get back to the telephones. You're on the animal. Go ahead.
Hey, guys. I don't.
Yeah, this guy here is the same thing. If someone get a damn open throw.
Exactly.
They scored 34 points. They had 400 yards, Gabriel did. You realize that. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Hey guys, I don't think there's much of a reason for OU to be that concerned in the grand scheme of things. They've lost to Kansas State or some other opponent the first game of Big 12 Conference, and then come back and won the Big 12 championship. I was just wondering if you think this year is kind of the same repeat of past years, or if you think this team's different and they'll fall off.
Yeah, that's a great question. We don't know. That's a great question. You're right. They've been unbelievable. When they lose early, everyone's like, oh my gosh, the season's over with. And then they roll. We don't know, right, Al?
No.
New coaching staff, new quarterback.
We'll know the next 2 weeks. They got if they lose one of those games.
That's right.
It's going
because normally they roll.
It'll be a struggle.
Like I remember when they lost to Texas that year down in the Cotton Bowl.
Well,
and I'm in Vegas and I bet a bunch of money they beat Kansas State 55-0. You know, I mean, so let's see if this team is as good as we thought they were. They'll go down to TCU and win by a couple touchdowns.
The problem is the league is better now.
You're right. Every game. You're right. No, you're exactly right. But is Kansas State going to win this league?
No.
I mean. I don't
that
know.
means Tulane would win if they were in the Big 12.
No, stop. You got that transitive property. Go, stop with that. Go ahead.
You're on the animal. Go ahead. Go ahead. You're on the animal.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, I just want to call in and say, before the season started, we were always hearing that this would be a rebuilding year. I think this is our humbled game right here that we had. Realizing that this is a rebuilding team and also we're doing a lot of lessons. I think the penalties really made us aware of that fact tonight.
Who said this was a rebuilding year? I've never heard anybody say that.
I've heard it all over. I mean,
I never heard anybody say it.
They're ranked 6 in the country.
They're number 6 in the country. I mean, I don't.
They started out in the top 10. So how is it rebuilding?
I don't understand.
If they start out in the top 10 in the country.
I will never. OU does not have rebuilding years. Okay, they may be down a little bit, but they do not have rebuilding years. I'm sorry, I'm not going to hear that. And if people are calling this a rebuilding year, to me, it's weak. All right, number 6 in the country. Everybody was all fired up about killing Nebraska. So I'm not dealing with the rebuilding year situation. It's a new staff right now we don't know about.
Yeah, I mean, it's
break, please.
Rebuilding year now.
Rebuilding year.
All right,
you take it.
I think you're right, Al. The next 2 games are massive. I mean, massive. TCU and then Texas, and they're going to be favored in both of them. And hey, you got to go win both of them. They go win both of them, they get on track. They get on track to get back. If they lose one or God forbid both, well then this is a disastrous season. And I don't want to hear rebuilding.
No.
I picked them to win the Big 12. You did too, correct?
Yep. Yes.
A lot of people did. A lot of people. It is Football Feedback, Bud Light Game Time, live from historic Campus Corner in Norman. Right here, we are in the RV General Store Sports Animal Mobile Studio, driven by Eskridge Lexus of Oklahoma City. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to see Al's beautiful face and watch him as he yells and screams at people, Football Feedback is streaming live on the
Can I
Sports
give the
Channel.
finger on this thing?
I don't know. Cisco, can he give the? He said yes. Football Feedback, the Sports Animal Facebook, YouTube, Twitter pages, and the Sports Animal app. Tough loss. OU loses 31-24. We'll come back with more calls and maybe a text message or two on the Animal. Don't go away.
Up Alice back over with Jim Traber. I'm going to ask you a really hard question. Who's the impact player of the game?
Probably a dude named Adrian Martinez.
Yes, he was.
Yes, he was.
It's hard to believe that they didn't use him in the first 3 games,
and it messed up. They had a loss.
They got to cost them a loss.
Yeah, they could be undefeated and rolling right now.
Who'd you say they play next week, Matt? By the way, OSU Baylor's at 2:30 next week.
Yeah, so OU
Which
plays
shocked
at 11.
me.
I
Shocked
thought
us.
shocked me too. I don't know why that wouldn't be a late game.
K-State hosting Texas Tech next week.
That's
Why wouldn't OSU Baylor be the 11 o'clock game instead of OU?
I don't know, Al. I think OU draws a lot of people.
Wow.
You know, they're a big draw.
Let's get to the phones. You're on the animal. Go ahead.
Hello.
What's up?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is it me?
Yeah.
It's you.
Hey, this is Dylan from Tecumseh. It's just a real disappointing loss. I mean, this isn't even the good team from Kansas. I'm not sure how we're going to stop the Jayhawk offense when they come.
That's a great question. Yeah.
Going to be tough. Yep.
Maybe we can get with Nebraska and have them take Brett Venables from us.
Okay, that's good. Thanks.
Here's what I want to see the next couple of weeks is the defense. If they get lit up again 2 straight weeks, Jim, it's a really bad sign.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. This is we're going to find out. And he brought up Kansas. Let me tell you something. Kansas is better than them offensively. TCU's better than them. I believe OSU's better than they are. Baylor's better than they are. West Virginia's better than they are. Seriously. Now maybe Kansas State will start rolling because of this offensively. Maybe they will.
We'll see. Let's see what they do. You know, they scored 10 points against Tulane.
Yeah. No, you're right.
What did Tulane do tonight, Matt?
They played Southern Miss.
Be interested to see what. And you're on your phone.
Southern Miss beat Tulane 27-24.
There you go.
What a daggone year this is.
I mean,
it's just psychotic.
Just
by the way, what Middle Tennessee State, I know the transitive property is tough, but Middle Tennessee State beat Miami. Middle Tennessee State lost to somebody the week before, like 41-3. That isn't any good. I mean, this is a crazy year, man. Crazy year.
You know what happened today? Michigan struggled, they won. Clemson struggled, they won. USC struggled, they won.
Boy, that's a great point you're making right now.
2 blue bloods struggled and lost. Texas and OU.
That is a tremendous point. If you're going to be a big league team, you're going to play bad sometimes, but you still have to win.
Absolutely.
Right?
Oh,
I mean,
USC drove down the field there at the end of the game.
Absolutely. Hey, by the way, Georgia didn't play very well today.
No.
They won. They figured it out. These teams figure it out, you know. I just don't know. It's so hard to figure out why they continue almost every single year they lose to a double-digit team, you know, that they're favored by. Crazy.
Wow. Let's get back to the phone. You're on the animal. Go ahead.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Good. What's up?
Good.
Hey, I was just going to point out, I think K-State was a really unique game plan offensively tonight. I thought Kleiman did a great job. A lot of, controlled stuff for Martinez. So much run game stuff. Kind of reminded me a little bit of how Navy did. Obviously a different offense, but just looking at, obviously time of possession is always going to be different with how much Levy likes to go quick. But in a game when you play against K-State, when they don't turn the ball over, it's just going to be hard to keep up with them if your offense has any drive that it's not clicking. And I'm sorry, but OU has offensive line problems. I'm not saying Dylan Gabriel is the issue. I think he's a solid quarterback, just like you guys are saying. But when they have to rotate anyone out of there for an injury or for whatever reason, and it's not the 5 best guys, Teams can get pressure.
Now
on
that's
him,
an
and
interesting
he is
point.
Not as good.
Now that's an interesting point because they brought in that Matwire guy.
He starts.
Oh, okay. Well, then they brought in somebody else who's 56.
They
no,
brought
that's the guard.
Guyton is the backup tackle.
Okay, when they brought him in, they did not block as well. That's a really good point.
I will say over 500 yards, 34 points against a really good defensive team.
No.
I may wear myself out with that tonight.
Oh, you will. Keep going. But the offense didn't lose the game.
The offense played really well.
Yeah, the offense did not lose the game.
My goodness. If we said before the game they were going to get 34 points over 500 yards, we'd say it was a great offensive performance, right?
I would say yes. We'd think they'd won.
My gosh. The defense was horrible. Tulane, they scored 10 points on Tulane a week ago.
I will say this, too. When he said that stuff about a unique game plan, I don't disagree. But they have better players. After a while,
I agree.
After a while, you should figure it out. And I thought they had in the third quarter.
I agree.
And then in the fourth quarter, they got obliterated. So you're right. They do have a unique game plan. But they watch film, they know what they do, and they got better players. You should not do what their defense. Give up 41 points. Are you kidding me? I mean, that's just it's
horrific defense.
It was
I'm
really
sure
bad.
Brent will say the same thing.
I totally agree with you.
I mean, what's the difference, Jim? In the last couple of years, the people be screaming at the defense at the game. Why are they not now?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Right?
I don't know.
They would be ripping Grinch.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yep. And Mike Stoops before him, and
Yeah.
Venables before him. So,
right. But now it's on an offense that got 34 points and had over 500
you know,
yards.
I think all of us got lulled a little bit in with the Nebraska game.
No doubt.
Nebraska is so bad.
Well, Kent State moved the ball on Georgia. They scored 20 today.
They scored 22 points.
And OU held them to 3 points.
And that's right. Kent State. Yeah. No, you're right. No, Al.
It's shocked.
Yeah, it is. It is. We watched it together, and we were shocked as we were watching. I just couldn't believe what was happening.
Let's get back to the phone. Join the animal. Talk to us, please. This cherry Pepsi is pretty good, by the way. Go ahead. What are you drinking?
Hey, Jim and Al. How are you?
What's up?
Jim, you told me to call back from my good call earlier. And so the other point that I wanted to make is that I think sometimes that we forget, and I'm not saying that one of the callers earlier said, well, this is a rebuilding year. No, that's not what I'm talking about at all. But sometimes it takes more than 3 games against very mediocre teams to build a culture and to inculcate that into a team. And I think that maybe our expectations got inflated a little bit by what you just said, by what happened in Nebraska. And so
Kent State. Kent State.
Yep. Kent State. Yep, too.
Yeah, absolutely. And Kent State. And so what I just hope that OU fans don't throw the towel in, and that it's going to take a time. When you look at the defensive culture for the last 5 years or whatever, it's not going to change overnight by beating a bunch of pansies in Nebraska. That's a complete disaster.
Yeah.
It's going to take longer than that.
You're probably right, but what's scary about it, I appreciate it, but what's scary about it is that I've been talking about they're tougher, they're tackling better and working hard. They tackled so bad today, it was ridiculous. Right now?
Taking wrong angles.
Terrible angles, missing tackles. It's just, I'm not giving up on them. You know how many times Al and I have sat here after they've lost the first game of the Big 12 and we're like, oh, no, and they come back and win a bunch. I still think they can do that, but they got to make some changes. I'm not talking about personnel. They got to figure some things out. They just do. On the defensive side of the ball, it was just embarrassing.
Although, Jim, I'd say there was so bad on defense. You have to make personnel changes.
You know, it's
right?
interesting. I mean, but like you're not going to take Grimes
no
out of there.
pressure. Where was the quarter?
I know, but you're going to take Grimes out of there?
No, I mean that.
You know?
Yeah, we hardly ever saw number 14 tonight.
We're not going to take Stutzman out. He played a bad game. You're not going to take him out.
You know, Downs made a play early.
Down made a couple. That was it. Yeah. No, the defensive line did not play well. I mean, we thought their defensive line's been really good. They did not play well.
Now, I will say Deuce Vaughn made can make people look bad.
Everybody. Yeah, but not Adrian Martinez.
No.
Adrian Martinez shouldn't make everybody miss.
No. The game of his career against his OU
You're
defense.
right. It is. It's the best game of his career.
Let's get back to the telephone. You think Nebraska fans like to have him back?
No, by the way, you asked me what I was drinking. I'm drinking great Kool-Aid with some lemonade in it.
Pretty
It's really
tasty?
very good. Oh, my gosh.
You
it's
try that
tremendous.
next time.
Very good. Thank you, Cisco. Thank you. I knew there was going to be something that you were going to be good for, and now I got it. This drink. Thank you.
Let's get back to the telephones. You're on the animal. Go ahead.
Hello.
Go ahead.
Is this me?
Yeah, it's you. Go ahead.
Hey, man. Rough night tonight. Man, what about number 22? Kind of reminds you of Quentin Griffin, doesn't it?
Oh, my gosh, man.
He's good.
He's really good.
He's good. He's tough. He runs hard.
Yep. And
I
Quentin
guess my
Griffin's a
whole
great
takeaway here
comparison,
from
by
this
the way.
night-
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Let's just, same deal. My whole takeaway tonight, man, was, they come out and they punch us in the mouth pretty good. And then we come back and we tie it up and kind of go back and forth a little bit. And then we go into the clubhouse at half and we bring in this big coach, Coach B, which I love Coach B, this big defensive guy. That's all we hear. And we've seen it too. And I don't see the halftime adjustments, man. I mean, I just don't understand.
No, okay, but stay on the phone for a second. Don't hang up on him, Matt. Listen to me, my man. We just read it in a second ago. They came out in the third quarter, and they went boom, 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 and then a 10-yard holding penalty. Then they stopped Kansas State. Then they got the ball back, boom, 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 boom. Then they had another penalty. And then Kansas State got a field goal. They did. I don't know about the adjustments, but they did something because they did play well for a while in the third quarter, and then Kansas State started dominating again in the fourth quarter, right?
I agree, Jim, 100%. I just don't understand why we couldn't get a hand on the quarterback. We didn't touch him all night.
I
Jim.
know. I don't know. I can't explain that. I agree with you 1,000,000,000%.
On the goal line, the dude rushed for 4 touchdowns. We never touched him. Explain that to me. We got these guys on the defensive line. They got in the backfield. They were around him all night. Yeah, they were.
No.
But they never got a hand on him. I can't explain that.
Well, I will tell you this. Can I just say real quick, Al, and I know you're getting ready to say something. Let's give some credit to Kansas State. Their offensive line blocked great. I mean, great. And then when you've got Deuce Vaughn, who is untackleable, and then you got Martinez playing the way he was, they couldn't get to him.
What's that say you block great when Tulane dominated you up front a week ago?
I can't explain it to you. I don't know the answer. I thought this defensive line was really good. It did not work that way. I don't know what to tell you, Al. I mean, neither one of us expected this. I mean, I thought that Kansas State would cover the spread, but I certainly didn't think they were going to win the game.
Yeah, I got a text here saying that OU's front seven was pummeled tonight.
Well, it's hard to say anything differently. But remember something. When you got a guy like Deuce Vaughn, all you got to do, Al, is get in front of your guy. Get in front of your guy, and then he starts to move. I will tell you, he made people look silly the whole night.
The problem, and he was right, the call was right on about, not getting to Martinez. But the worst thing is you're not getting to him, and then you let him break.
Tackles.
Yeah, and get him
That's right.
outside.
That's right.
I mean,
And
you
they
gotta
broke
contain.
And they broke tackles. They broke tackles. And they
again-
had all year long. They tackled well. Today they tackled horribly. It's inexplicable. But they got to work on it. They got to get better. And they better hit some this week. If there are some new personnel, figure out maybe a couple guys to play a little bit more. And then you got to get ready to go
and
TCU.
every game you got left is going to be a bear.
You're right. That
Everyone.
I don't think we've ever said that when we've been sitting
No.
here. You know what I'm saying?
Everyone.
We've never said that. Matt Meyer, have we ever said that when we've been sitting here?
No, there's always been a dog. Well, I mean, at this point in the year, no.
Right.
I mean, maybe
when you play the first game of the Big 12 and all you have is Big 12 left, we have never sat here and said what Al just said. He's right on them. Every game's going to be a bear this year.
Because there's always been a doormat of some sort. Kansas, Baylor.
Sometimes two, yeah.
Right.
Well, again, TCU, I don't know how good they are. I don't think they're great, but you got to go down there and make a statement and say, yep, we stunk it up last week, but we can play good against a solid team. Because so far they have again, remember what I said at the beginning of the show, Al? I mean, pregame show. Remember I said to you, I think both OU and OSU played teams that were better than any of us thought. Kent State and Central Michigan with OSU. Am I
You're
right?
Absolutely.
Kent State goes down there, and I'm sure Georgia didn't care much about the game, but they scored on that defense. The defense had given up 10 points before today. They scored 22. Now, Georgia turned it over 3 times, right, Matt? Wasn't that right? Early? I think 3 times. Stetson Bennett.
That's right, yeah.
Stetson Bennett came down to earth a little bit, Al. But no, you're right on the money, Al. They're going to have to come every week and bring it, because if they don't bring it every week, they're going to be 8-4. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
So they better.
Yeah.
This is time to get it fired up.
Yeah, they lost 2 fumbles and Bennett threw an interception.
There you
That's
go.
right.
So there you go. Yep.
Let's get back to the phones. You're on the Animal. Go ahead.
Hey guys, bad loss, but I'm happy. We got my girlfriend and me got to sit in the stands, and like I don't get to go to the games a lot, but I sit on the 50-yard line. And
well, that's cool.
A lot of good things happen.
That's cool.
Well, I'm gonna say one thing. First of all, like the music, I love y'all's music. But I do want to say one thing, like Marvin Mims, like his speed in person is incredible.
Scary, isn't it? It's scary. Yeah.
It's scary, yeah. And then, and I was telling her, I was like, and then Braden Willis, like 9-17, like I'm just watching them. If I was a defense coordinator, I would watch those 2 guys. I don't know why they didn't get more looks. Like those guys, like in person, for me, like I watched the games, Kent State and UTEP, but like in person, like I'm watching that speed, I'm like, man, like those guys are like,
no doubt.
And I get they're gonna do their thing and everything, but I'm like, for me, just in person, I was in awe. Like those guys are good, and Dylan did a great job. I think on defense, I think the edges, I kept telling her, like the guys on the edge, I don't think our defensive line didn't really get a lot of push, like we have been.
Yep. No sacks.
And contain. Yeah. It's
No
just horrible.
sacks.
Yeah.
Hard to believe.
Yeah.
You told me that's one of the things before the game. You told me they weren't going to have any sacks.
Yeah.
I'd have been like,
They didn't touch him.
no, they did not touch him.
Remember
You're right.
earlier I said, hey, look how much the time he got.
Back to Mims. I agree with you 100%, Al. This was not a loss because of the offense, but I'm sorry. He's got to have more force catches. When they start to play better teams, they got to get him the ball. By the way, I think Willis, I'm starting to believe he has a chance to play at the next level.
Yeah, he's a pretty good player.
I think he's got a chance to be one of those kind of tight ends that they have now in the NFL. Matt, am I crazy? Am I going too far about Willis? What do you think about that?
He could. I don't know how high he'll be drafted, but
no, he won't be high. He won't be drafted high at all. I don't think he will be, but I think he could be, and I'm not saying he's as good as these guys, but I think he's the type of guy like a Waller or a Kelsey, that kind of guy. I'm not saying he's as good as them, but they use those dudes in the NFL a lot. And I think he's big, strong, and can catch it and can run.
Good player.
Yep.
Get back to the phones. You're on the Animal. Go ahead.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes. Go ahead.
Hi. Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. I just had 2 quick questions on the, us joining the SEC.
Yes.
So this, loss kind of looks a little bit, frightening with us joining the SEC. Your thoughts on that? And then second thing, how do we know that Gabriel's not transplanted from Florida and he's a Democrat and he's
By the way, Florida, is a Republican state. But anyway, listen.
No, you don't even. He was an idiot. He's trying to be.
I know he was an idiot. I know he was. But no, I was going to say to you is that they got 2 years to get to the SEC. 2 years. So.
Well, if I'm OU, said I'm going in 25.
Well, what if they make you go in 24?
They can't make you go.
You don't think so?
No.
You don't think the SEC says you're coming?
OU said they're tied to the Big 12 until 25. The Big 12 can't kick them out. The TV contract is until 25.
Well, let me ask you a question. Can the SEC say you're coming?
I don't think so. No. OU, when they made the agreement, we're going in 25.
So you're saying you should wait all the way until then?
What do you think?
I don't know. It's a great question.
They're at least a couple years away. At least.
Yeah, but they're having a great class. If they have another great class, if that Arnold kid is the kind of quarterback that they've had before, right?
Yeah,
Al, I
maybe.
I agree from a football standpoint. Yeah, they still need a couple of more recruiting classes to beef themselves up. But we all know that decision to go to the SEC had nothing to do with competitive. It had everything to do with money.
Money, you're
Yeah, it's
right.
money.
You're right.
So, in other words, however the finances work, and I know they have to pay a big penalty to get out early, but if for some reason the money makes sense, like if, however much money they're going to get from the
Right.
SEC, makes it worth their while, then they'll go.
The problem is Joe's smart enough. If he doesn't think they're ready, you go in there, you get your butt kicked early. You may not recover.
I still think.
When you say may not recover, I mean, you don't mean like ever.
No,
right?
but I mean, look what when Arkansas wasn't OU. It just look at these teams that have changed leagues.
But they're going to go in there in good shape.
I
They're
mean,
going to, if they go in 24 or 25, they're going in good shape. They're not as good as Alabama.
yeah.
They're not as good as Georgia.
No,
but they can play with everybody else.
And you got to win. Look at Alabama. Texas outplayed him, yet Alabama found a way
to win. You're right. Found a way to win.
So
you're right, Al. I mean, the team played really well. You played bad. So, all right, we'll take our last break of the night. It is football feedback. Bud Light Game Time, live from historic Campus Corner in Norman. We're in the RV General Sports Animal Mobile Studios, and we're driven by Eskridge Lexus of Oklahoma City. We'll come back, get a phone call or two in. We'll give our final thoughts, and then we will go to the locker room show. OU loses 41-34. Disappointing night here in Norman. We'll be right back on the Animal.
Oklahoma suffers a stunning, I do mean stunning loss, 41-34.
We had some good fights down here
at
tonight.
the hands of Kansas State. Yeah, we had some fights tonight. And I imagine there'll probably be some more later on.
I would
tonight
guess. You're right. Yes. I
So,
would guess.
again, let's say a couple more calls, and this has just been again. And you kept on bringing up all week. You're so right. This is a game that OU's, but they may lose some more this year. And so,
Well, again, we can look at two things. One, usually when they lose early, they figure it out. But the second thing is this is a new staff.
That's exactly right.
So
and new players.
And new players. So let's see if they're going to do that. I know one thing. They lost to a double-digit underdog like they do all the other times. So maybe they'll crank it up.
Maybe. And the thought of this defense getting fixed with Ewers coming back against OU is.
But you know what? Texas's defense stunk today.
Yeah. OU should be able to score points. There's no doubt about that. And the one thing, Ewers ain't going to run on you.
No, you're right, especially with his shoulder.
Yeah. Okay, you're on the animal. Go ahead.
Hey, guys, is it me?
Yeah, it's you. Go ahead, please.
Oh, hey, I was just going to say, as an OSU fan, this is the greatest bye week ever with Texas and OU losing. And, Spencer Sanders has just got to be licking his chops. I mean, that OU defense is going to make him look like Michael Vick. So I'm super excited.
Better not get cocky, big boy. You better just go ahead and say,
if we take care of Baylor, we'll have the inside track.
That's right. You got to go down and beat Baylor. It's going to be a tough place to play. Baylor's good. So that's going to be a great game.
Should be a great game.
I don't think anybody should. You know what? I got to tell you, the three of us, Matt Meyer, we've been together doing this for a long time. This is an amazing deja vu. Every time OU loses this game at the beginning, an OSU fan or a Texas fan or somebody calls in and goes, "Oh, can't wait to play them." I mean, does it not happen every year? Every year.
Yeah, absolutely.
So OSU fans, you should be happy. Both OU and Texas lose, but you better go play Baylor. Now, if you go beat Baylor on the road, that's a start of something nice. That's what I'll say for OSU. Go win on the road, and it should be the start of something that could be good.
Back to the phones. You're on the animal. Go ahead.
Hello.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Next call.
We'll get another one in. I know it's hard to talk, but let's do
You're
it.
on the animal. Go ahead.
What's going on, guys?
How are you?
Go ahead, man.
Hello.
Go ahead.
We hear you. Go.
Oh, you can hear me. I'm sorry, guys.
No, go ahead.
Hey, well, first of all, got to give props to my Jayhawks, man. I mean, I know it's an OU post game, but man,
you're all right.
One of the, I'm not bragging on him, but man, the guy's the best quarterback in the Big 12 right now.
You
so
should brag on him. But in the pregame, Al said he's all Big 12 quarterback right now, so you should brag on him.
Yeah.
They're playing good football.
Yeah, they're playing good football, but it was amazing to see a sold out stadium. On the game tonight, a couple of quick things, and I'll take it off the air. Jim, you say they're not rebuilding, but I think I heard at the beginning of the year there's like 40 or 45 players or something that have never put on an OU uniform before. And once again, people talk about adjustments and so forth and so on, but Nebraska comes out first drive, scores right off the bat. Kent State drives, UTEP drives. OU makes defensive adjustments, and tonight they played against a team that is very, very, very well coached and can make adjustments throughout the game. So I'm just kind of curious on what you guys think about that, because they're going to start to face teams that do make adjustments throughout the game that can actually play that little chess game throughout the game.
No, we agree.
So.
No, they can lose every game on their schedule. I don't think we ever said that. They could lose every game. They're going to be favored in a lot of games, but they could lose every game. And I started the pregame show off by saying they have got to figure out what is wrong in the beginning of the game. I don't know. I don't know the answer. I don't know the answer, but they better find the answer, Al.
No doubt. I mean, what Nebraska did last week early in the game, and tonight you get behind 14-0. I don't care who you're playing. You're gonna have problems the rest of the year if you get behind anybody left on the schedule when you're behind 14-0.
No, 14-0 is a. I know there's a lot of football left, but I'll say it again. Kansas State, when they're up 14-0, say we're gonna beat this team up.
Absolutely.
You give them confidence.
Absolutely.
Confidence is an amazing thing.
Let's get back to the phones. You're on the Animal. Go ahead.
Yeah, is it me? Is it
What's
me?
up?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a couple statements real quick. No doubt this loss goes on the players, the coaches, and Castiglione for not hiring Dave Aranda.
Yeah, okay.
See ya.
Oh, boy. This is good. At 12:30. I think do we need to do last call?
Last call.
Let's do last call,
Okay,
Matt.
let's go to
Let's
last call.
listen to it. What do we got, Matt? Uh-oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I need to announce it's last call at the bar.
It's time for the last call of the game. Sponsored by Tito's Handmade Vodka. Tito's makes the good stuff for good times. Find recipes, videos, and more at Tito'sVodka.com.
And we're back. Let's go to the phones. You're on the Animal. Go ahead.
Am I the last call?
You're the last call.
I think OU has won games like this in the past with the bad defense, and if Caleb Williams was quarterback, we would have won the game.
Okay, thanks for the call. We can't end on that. Let's give me one more. We get a second to last call. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Just one more.
Hey, you there?
Yep, go ahead.
We're here.
All right. Hey, I got it. So, two things real quick, okay?
Okay.
So, in my opinion, is Redmond not the best defensive line since Tommy Harris? And the second question is when is OU going to be able to excuse me?
Let's get final thoughts right now.
Yeah, you go, Al. What do you got?
It's a terrible loss. It's simply a really, really bad loss, particularly with the schedule left and everything. We thought the defense had improved. Tonight was an embarrassment, a total embarrassment. You give up a team that only scored 10 points against Tulane. You give up 500 yards today. It's a defensive embarrassment. Now we're going to see how they can come back. Brent, a head coach, he got it. It's going to be interesting.
Well, you said, do you want to say what you said to me towards the end of the game when we were sitting at fellows?
Well, yeah, your honeymoon's over. I mean,
there it is.
As a head coach,
the honeymoon is over. That's a great line, Al. I mean, I think you should drop the mic on that.
That's so. It's the next 2 weeks are huge for this season.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. Massive stuff. All right, Al, great job as usual, okay? Be careful. Al Eschbeck, ladies and gentlemen, the legend, 46 years in radio and counting, and you'll be able to listen to him at 4 o'clock on Monday. I agree with everything Al said. I think the penalties were just horrific. Every time OU had some momentum, every time they gave it back, whether it was a penalty or a kickoff return, whatever it is. And I know, Matt, you've been listening to me for years, and I know people get sick of it, but I believe in the mental aspect of the game, probably more than most people. And I think the mental aspect in this game went 1,000,000,000% to Kansas State. I just thought that they get up 14-0, they're ready to play, they know they can win, and then the kickoff return puts them right back in after it goes to 14-14. So you got to stop doing stupid penalties. Really, really bad loss, Matt Meyer. Tell everybody what's coming up the rest of the way, Matt.
Well, Brent Venables is coming up next. We'll hear from Ted Roof. We'll hear from Jeff Levy. May hear from some players as well. So we'll have plenty of post-game audio. Hear what Brent Venables had to say about his team coming up very shortly.
And we're going to have locker room show tonight or no?
Yeah, locker room show. That's right.
All right, boy. Great job as usual, Matt. You're the man. You run the show all day. And good thing that OSU isn't playing at night next week because you'd have been here for 15 hours. But I guess you'll get off a little bit early.
A little bit earlier.
Nothing wrong with that, huh? Great job, Matt. Appreciate you. Thank you so much to my man Cisco over there, our new program director. I told him, Matt, you're like this. When I walked back in here to do the postgame show, I looked at Cisco and I said, now you're going to figure out tonight what sports radio really is. That's what I told him. And we did. We had a moronic situation for most of the night. We did have some good phone calls, though. They did a good job. But thank you to Cisco doing all the stuff with the video and everything. And, of course, Josh Lupton, who's as good as it gets, putting everything together as usual. Coming up, it will be the Locker Room Show. We appreciate all our great sponsors, especially Eskridge Lexus and Campus Corner, and, of course, RV General Store for our mobile studio. Oklahoma, ladies and gentlemen, a bad loss. Kansas State, 41. Oklahoma, 34. Stay with us. Locker Room Show is next right here on the Leader in Sports, The Animal.